everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Rob, we are DURC, and today we are looking at the Traxxas TRX6. So this is the Mercedes G63 AMG 6x6, or just the Beast if you want to call it the Beast. So it's basically the big brother to the TRX4. I've had this for a little while. I picked it up second hand. It is one of my favourite rigs. It's an absolute machine. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to have a little look at it, talk about obviously some of the features, what it's like to own, how it compares to some of the other rigs like a TRX4, and then obviously we'll get out and hit the trail and we'll see what it's like. So first of all, as you can see, obviously you've got your 6x6 G63 body. So as you can see, I'm not running the standard wheels. They are just Traxxas tyres, the Canyon Trail tyres, which I actually really like, but they're just some aftermarket beadlock wheels. Now for the foams, you can see they've got quite a lot of squish in them. They've actually just got hair bobbles in. I'm not a massive fan, to be honest. I find them a bit too soft, but that's just what they've got in them for the moment, so you can see how squidgy they are. Okay, obviously you've got your standard body. It's got a roof rack on it, it's got the light kit on it, got some accessories and stuff that I've chucked on it. We look, spin it around so you can have a look. It's also got some metal front and rear bumpers. And it's got the mud flaps on there as well. Got all my homemade accessories on the top, some bikes on the back, spare wheel, lots of stickers, things like that. So let's pop the body off, have a look at the chassis. We can see what it's like. To get the body off nice and easily, you just got your body clip, so it's not quite like the newer Bronco and so on with the different system that you can just pull off the tabs. So just get your clips off and then just basically lift your body off, okay, and your body comes off. Okay, it comes with clear windows as standard, which is quite nice, and I have got an interior for it and a driver which I'm going to get in there soon, so it'll be even more scale soon. So let's take a look at the actual chassis and we'll just talk about some of the things that you get and what it's like. So it's running the stock Traxxas 21 turn Titan mower, so that's a 550 21 turn, so it's still running the stock motor. It's running the stock XL-5 ESC and also the stock receiver, so nothing special there. To be fair, they've lasted really well. I haven't had any issues with them or anything like that. You've got your standard battery tray here, which I've actually removed the bar which holds the battery in because I actually wanted to run some bigger battery packs, so I just fitted a battery strap. Okay, it has also got on the front a aftermarket front mount battery, but I don't really use it. This one's just got a cheapo Amazon 25 kilogram steering servo, so replace the stock steering servo. That was like that when I got it. Okay, as you can see, it's effectively just a lengthened TRX4. So whereas your TRX4 would just come up to here, you've got your additional axle on the rear. Okay, and this one's got all of the rock crawling lights and everything on it as well. So it's got the full light kit on it. So you've got your light unit here, and then you've got all your rock crawling lights and all your arches. I'll show you those in a moment. Being a TRX6, you've got your locking differentials. Okay, so you've got your servos. If I move my messy wires out of the way, you've got your mini servos here, okay, to lock your differentials front and rear, and then you've got your other mini servo over here, which is for your 2-speed gearbox, because this has got a 2-speed gearbox and locking differentials. Okay, and the 2-speed gearbox is actually really nice because obviously with the 2-speed it does allow you to go that much faster. So again, this has got some brass and stuff on it, as you can see here. Okay, so it's got like brass portal covers and brass C-cups and everything on there, so it is quite a heavy rig. I do find that this one does chew through batteries pretty quickly. It's also got that aftermarket front bumper, so it's kind of like a skid plate, and it's got some of the skid plates going along here as well. One of the things I do really like about the Traxxas drive shafts is it's a grub screw on a pin, so it slides all the way through the drive shaft, so you don't get issues with the drive shaft slipping off, which you can get on some other rigs. Okay, obviously you've got your middle axle, and then you've got your rear axle. Okay, all running stock suspension, nothing different there. So obviously you've got portals on each axle. Okay, and then obviously you've got your stock suspension. Okay, so you can see you've got a nice bit of movement. Okay, you've got your 4-link on your rear axle, you've got your 4-link on your middle axle, and then you've got a 3-link on your front axle. On this one, we've actually got an aftermarket power switch button here, which just goes on the actual ESC so that you can actually push it from underneath and then it turns your ESC on. Honestly worth it, because it's just a pain sometimes, especially on like the TRX4, you know, when you've got to take the body shell off to basically turn the thing on. Whereas if you just get these, you can pick these up for a few quid off like AliExpress, Banggood, eBay, Amazon, whatever. But, you know, definitely worth it. Now, one of the things I really love about a 6x6 and obviously like the TRX6 is, you know, that movement you get when you're crawling with those rear axles. You know, as you're crawling along and you can see those axles lifting and moving over the terrain, I just think that looks really awesome. You know, I actually really like the stock Traxxas suspension. You know, I haven't had any issues with it. I think it's really nice. Also, I think for like, depending on the, you know, what you want to use it for, but for me, you know, when I'm doing videos, I think it looks really nice, kind of like scale crawling as well. Okay, so we got the battery in. So this is your stock radio that you get with your TRX4 and your TRX6. So it's just the Traxxas TQI. You know, I think it's a nice transmitter. So you've got your gear change here to switch your first and second gear. Okay, so first at the top, second at the bottom. And on the top, you've got your switch for locking your differentials. So normally it would be all the way back is unlocked. Forward once is the first diff, and then forward is fully locked differentials. On this one, it's actually been reversed. So this is actually unlocked. That's just the rear diffs, and then that's all diffs. So that one's just reversed by the previous owner. You can do things like cruise control and everything on these rigs. Obviously, you've got here for your multifunction. So if you did set like cruise control, you could then adjust the speed, and also you can set your steering trim and everything on there. Okay, there's different options. You can go for different crawling modes and everything as well, which it says all that in the manual. But it's actually a nice size. You know, you can hold it in your hand, you can steer one-handed and drive, which for someone like me, when you're filming and driving at the same time, is really useful. But I really like it. You know, I haven't had any issues. You can also get the Traxxas Link system as well if you want to, where you can download an app on your phone. You buy the like the Bluetooth module that goes in here, and then it basically connects to your phone, you know, whatever it may be, and then you can get live monitoring of your, you know, rig as you're driving, like battery voltage and all that kind of stuff. So as I said, our switch is now just down here on the bottom. Push our switch in and then switch it on. Okay, so we've got our headlights, you've got your like running lights, which you can just about see behind the bumper there. Obviously we've got a roof rack light on it as well. You've got your lights on the top. You've got your lights here. You've got your side lights. And then on the back, you've also got your rear lights as well. So you can see those rock lights shining up under there. There you go, your rock crawling lights. They are actually really bright. You know, if you're out in the night and you're crawling, you know, they do a really good job of lighting up the path. So that's pretty cool. Okay guys, we are out on location, back at our usual spot. So first thing we're going to try on the TRX6 is just looking at the difference between the unlocked and locked diffs. So what we will do is we'll unlock the diffs first of all, and then we will see how it gets up this little bank, just out of the water. Obviously it's going to be very slippy and muddy. We'll see how it does getting at the bank with unlocked diffs, and then we will lock the diffs and see what the difference is like. See, it's really just struggling to get up there. It's just you've got like individual wheels spinning, it can't get up, it's just sliding down the hill. So let's go back. Okay, so now let's lock the diffs. You should be able to hear them change, if you can hear it over the sound of the water. So we now got locked diffs, so now let's see how it does get at the bank. You can see that difference the locked diffs make. It's just, you know, incredible. Going from unlocked to locked, it's a completely different RC. So yeah, definitely if you're crawling and trying to get up things, you want your lock diffs. Obviously the reason you can have your switchable between your unlocked diffs is obviously having them unlocked gives you more maneuverability. But yeah, on the most part, to be honest, I have them locked. That's just generally how we drive. Obviously most other rigs are just locked anyway. Let's carry along this bank, do our usual test to see if we can get up the slope, bit of side hilling by here as well, and then we will carry on. Side hilling there. See how much of a slope that is. Well, that absolutely bossed it, didn't it? In terms of your trail speed, mine's quite heavy because obviously it's got a lot of kind of like metal upgrades and so on, but it's still got plenty of go in it. So we'll see what it's like in first gear and then we'll see what it's like in second gear. Okay, so first test in first gear. So you can see it's got plenty of go in it. That's just in first gear. This is running on 3S, okay? So this is in first gear. Right, now let's try it in second gear. I'm not gonna be able to run after it, so let's do it in second gear. So we'll switch it in a second. You should hear the servo move. Okay, so we're now in second gear, okay? On the controller as well, this is second gear here, okay? So let's give it a rip in second gear and see what it's like. No way I'm keeping up with that. As you can see, it's an absolute ripper in second gear, considering like how much weight it's carrying as well. That's quick in second gear. You'd be running after it, so plenty of speed, which is awesome. Right. Let's hit some trails, see if we can find our logs to do some log obstacles to see how that 6x6 navigates over them compared to some of the 4x4s. Okay, we're at our little log obstacle. So let's see how the TRX6 does over the logs. Hung up there a little bit on the middle. Yeah, I did it fairly easily, I would say. Obviously that's the one slight downside of the 6x6 is obviously you've got that bit of a gap where it does get hung up a little bit, especially on the TRX6 because the body kind of sits quite low with the side rails as well, so it can get hung up every now and again. But obviously with the power of the 6x6 you can just maneuver around, find a way to get across it and then go across, you know. Definitely makes a difference compared to like, you know, just a 4x4. We've got a nice little swamp here. It's a mixture of kind of reeds and muddy water, and yeah, you can tell it's be a nice little challenge. Let's see how the TRX6 does through here. Obviously it is waterproof, so shouldn't have any issues in the water. I've ran it in the water loads and loads of times, no problems at all, but let's see how it navigates through this little swamp, especially with all these little reedy bits and everything to get hung up around the axles and so on.
as you can see, it's an absolute beast. You know, as a trail truck, it is amazing. You know, the 6x6, having that extra axle, you know, makes it so much easier to climb over things. You know, every now and again you will get hung up on the center section, like I said, because it is a little bit low. But generally, if you just maneuver well enough, you can get through it. And then obviously with that extra axle, it makes it so much easier to kind of plow through everything. And the one thing I have found with, like, you know, my Traxxas rigs is they are really strong and they are really durable. You know, it's not often they break. You can abuse them a lot more than a lot of other cheaper brands, in my experience, without any issues. But obviously mine does have some brass upgrades and so on the front as well, for a bit of extra weight up front. I would definitely say it helps. I took on the King of the Hill at the Southern Scale Trail, and having that extra weight on the front made a massive difference. This was only one of the only rigs to actually get up 2 of the hills and almost conquer the 3rd. So a little bit of weight on the front will make a massive difference as well. So yeah, so just to summarize, obviously you've got 2-speed, you've got the 6x6, you've got diff locking, amazing piece of kit, really strong, really tough, plenty of speed for the trails, brilliant at crawling, I'd say brilliant at rock crawling, waterproof. You know, there's not really much to complain about except maybe the price. So if you're considering getting one, I would say definitely get one. If you want to see some more action of the TRX6, then check out some of the other videos on my channel. Like I said, we've got rock crawling, mudding, you know, various different things, and it does a fantastic job at all of them. Plus it looks brilliant as well. You know, I love the G63 6x6, so great rig. Hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.